If you want to be great, if you want to get the recognition, all of the things that you dream about, there is only one way to guarantee that you will have those things. Only one.
This is Andy. He's a podcast host, published author, motivational speaker, and the founder of a $100 million company.
To see them be bad at something.
But that's not even what makes him interesting. His claim to fame is something called the 75 Hard Challenge, a 2.5-month-long program that has transformed over 100,000 obese, out-of-shape people.
The whole point of the program is to put yourself in the most inconvenient, non-compromising situation that you possibly can.
At first glance, this challenge might seem like a 30-day lose belly fat scheme you hear about on the radio, but I put this impossible challenge to the test. Let me show you my transformation, and then you can decide if this is fiction or fact.
I am just exhausted, mentally, physically, just oh my God.
My name is Stefan, and I did the 75 Hard Challenge for 1 year. The 75 Hard is done in, as the name suggests, 75 days. You have to follow a diet that includes the elimination of alcohol and cheat meals, drink a gallon of water per day, exercise twice per day, one of those sessions has to be outside, read 10 pages of a nonfiction or personal development book per day, no audiobooks allowed, and my favorite, take a progress pic so you can flex on the gram. I decided to start this on October 25th, 2020, which means I was knee-deep in this during Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. Stellar planning, I know, but hey, go big or go home, right? The initial challenge ended for me on January 9th, 2021. I gave myself 6 or so weeks off before diving into phase 1 of Frizella's Live Hard program, and I started that on February 23rd, 2021. The 3 phases are all 30-day installments, and they uphold the same principles as the original challenge. Follow a diet, drink an unconscionable amount of water every day, work out twice per day, yada yada yada. However, Phase 1 adds the additional daily tasks of a 5-minute long cold shower and a 10-minute visualization session. Additionally, you have to add 3 tasks to your power list, so you're accomplishing a grand total of 8 instead of 5 tasks every day. Phase 1 concluded for me on March 25th, 2021. It's then recommended that you wait at least 30 days before proceeding into Phase 2, so you can remember what life is like as a normal person. Phase 2 began on August 9th and ended on September 14th, 2021 for me. It doesn't add any new tasks, so essentially I just did 75 hard again, but for 30 days instead of 75. The third and final phase is probably the most intense. I embarked on this month-long haul from December 2nd, 2021 to January 1st, 2022. No Christmas meals for me again this year. The rules are the same as the 75 Hard. However, there are 2 new daily responsibilities. You have to speak to a stranger, and you have to perform 1 random act of kindness. I didn't really feel the need to journal, but it is a requirement, and I guess I can go back now and read it while remembering what a good, kind, moral human I am. A few things to remember before we get into my personal experience. Frizella is not a medical professional, dietitian, nutritionist, physical therapist, personal trainer, or anything of the sort. He's just a guy. Albeit a very successful guy, but still a guy. I would encourage anyone who's inspired to try the 75 Hard Challenge to make sure they're physically and mentally ready for the challenge. And don't go into it thinking it's some well-researched and scientifically designed master program, because it's not. Don't get me wrong, I think it definitely has massive value. It can truly change someone's life. But remember, it's not like you're getting an evidence-based approach to health and wellness. Let's start with the physical stuff. The diet. For example, one of the rules is to follow a diet. That's super vague, but at least he's not urging you to follow some weird gluconeogenic, animal-based vegetarian trend. You kind of just do whatever you want here. Me personally, I cut out all sugar and gluten, which is hard because essentially everything has sugar in it. Thanks, America. I also cut out potatoes. I know that seems like a random food to discriminate against, but I kind of just felt like I'd eaten too many recently, and let's be honest, they're a delicious cheat food masquerading as a vegetable anyway. The worst part was not having comfortable holiday meals or partaking in a nice cold brew on New Year's Eve, but the delicious superiority complex I gained by not eating or drinking crap was enough to sustain me. But I probably wouldn't do it again that time of year. I'll tell you one thing I was not on board with, drinking a gallon of water every day. Can you imagine some tiny 5-foot nothing girl chugging a gallon of water? Because I barely made it. I don't know how anyone smaller than me would. It felt like I had to pee every 15 minutes. And there were times I was worried my bladder might genuinely explode. But hey, your internal organs in the name of personal growth, am I right? I'm pretty sure that furiously guzzling this amount of H2O is a one-way ticket to an overhydration department at your local hospital. Pro tip, drink as much as you can during your workouts. You don't want to be stuck chugging the rest of your water right before bed. The workouts. A lot of my workouts ended up being long 45-minute walks. This allowed me to easily get my one outside workout of the day with minimal drama. Not that the outdoors have ever stopped me before. Mostly, I traipse around at 2 a.m. questioning my own existence. However, I was in Chicago for a good part of the challenge, and if you remember the dates I did the initial challenge, as well as phases 1 and 3, it was winter in Chicago. For the uninitiated, that means it was cold. On the negative side, I got into this habit of doing my final workout between 11 p.m. and 2 a.m. because you're not supposed to go to bed until all the tasks for the day have been completed. And I was busy with other aspects of the challenge, like, existing. So this impacted my sleep and led me to feeling more mentally and physically drained. But I guess feeling your best isn't necessarily the goal of the challenge, it's more about holding yourself accountable, committing to something, and that felt pretty great to do. Moving on to the mental stuff. Here are some of the books I read, and I'll put those in the description below. But this actually wasn't too hard. Personal development is my favorite kind of genre, and if I was really exhausted, I just read from a motivational quotes book with shorter pages. When it came to the extras in phase 3, I had to get creative. For my acts of kindness, sometimes I'd pick up trash in downtown, other times I would just Venmo a friend $5. I think I donated to a random international charity for children too. I always came up with something in the end, because all I had to do was look around me and find something meaningful. There's a lot of chaos around us in the world that we can always leave better than we found it. Talking to strangers also wasn't so bad. So I met some strangers at a hotel and they gave me some cider. I'm gonna pay it forward and give it to someone else. It only got hard if I put it off until late at night. So my largest concern was getting so sick that I'd have to start all over. After all, you miss one day and you're sunk. I guess I got lucky here because I did manage to make it through the first 75 days and the accompanying 90 days without having to restart. And was it worth it? I think so. It was the most effective way that I've ever learned consistency. The only thing I've done this consistently is A, brush my teeth, which I admittedly miss once a month, and B, making my own bed, which I haven't missed in 10 or 15 years, but that might be cap, I don't know. But I will say, I think the water thing was just too much. I mean, there's a difference between doing hard things and drinking so much water that your pee is as clear as a mountain stream. Would I do it again? Yeah, but I probably got to give my bladder a couple of years to recover. In all seriousness, I felt really focused, and it gave me an excuse to say no to things that probably wouldn't serve me anyway. Even though it seemed like the challenge would be mostly physical in the beginning, I think the mental burdens were heavier. I've been in and out, putting money in the bank. I know you guys have been waiting for 8 minutes to see my before and after, so congratulations if you made it this far, and here we go. And once more, we arrive at the final question of why. I'll cut to the chase and level with you, because I can. I like feeling unique and doing things that nobody even wants to do, so I can be a more interesting person at cocktail parties and brag about how disciplined and special I am. I'm not joking, but I'm also okay with admitting that. Also, I know that I can come off as random or disorganized, but I really stuck to this. And it was a good reminder for me that I can be consistent and dedicated, even in a world of unending distractions. There is a method to my madness, a calm in the chaos, if you will. But whatever. Bottom line, if you're gonna entrust your health and wellness to an Instagram influencer, make sure your bladder is ready for it.